Hello, I'm David Rose. Here's a look at some of the top cases featured this week on Washington's Most Wanted. Talk about bad timing for a burglar. Corey Brock is a convicted felon who is wanted in King County right now for residential burglary. Now, the case against him appears to be really strong considering the audience of crime fighters who were watching him when they say he broke into a home in Federal Way in February.
Detectives happened to be in the area of a neighborhood, and while they were there sitting, plainclothes detectives, they witnessed Corey break into a house right in front of him. He broke in through the front door, the house alarm began going off. He ran through the house and collected some items and then quickly left and jumped into a waiting Jeep that was out front. The detectives followed that Jeep all the way to Puyallup. Once it stopped, they ended up arresting Corey Brock out of the passenger seat, and they also arrested the driver. He failed to appear for a court date. He now has a $100,000 warrant for his arrest for residential burglary, second degree. We're hoping that somebody recognizes this guy and knows where he's hiding out at so we can get him back behind bars before he breaks into somebody else's house.
And get this, just hours before Brock got busted for that burglary, he'd been in court in King County on a prior auto theft charge. He has multiple convictions for identity theft and vehicle theft. He's also a convicted child rapist who has failed to register as a sex offender in the past. Brock's arrest warrant is for second-degree residential burglary. He's 33 years old, 6'5", and weighs 255 pounds. If you can tell officers where to find him, use the P3 Tips app, submit that information to Crime Stoppers at Puget Sound, and get that cash reward of up to $1,000 if your information leads to his arrest. Now, a serial armed robbery suspect who seems to feel pretty guilty about his crimes, even apologizing to a couple of the victims. Take a look at these surveillance photos from the most recent robbery on March 29th at a Valero gas station in the Holler Lake neighborhood of Seattle. He gave the clerk a note that said, "I have a gun, empty out the register, and I will not hurt you." As he turned to leave with the money, he told her, "Sorry." As he ran west from the store, she saw that he had blonde hair when his hood fell off and noted he was wearing Crocs or sandals. Detectives say his M.O. fits this robbery at a Bartell's in Magnolia on March 24th, when he gave a note to the pharmacist demanding all the benzos. He couldn't stop fidgeting and acting nervous the entire time he was waiting. Well, after he got a single bottle of drugs, he went to the front of the store and then demanded cash from the register. And to show he meant business, he pulled a black handgun out of a brown paper bag and held it against his chest. He left after he got the money. Now, Seattle police think this spree started on March 18th with two robberies, one at the Uptown Espresso in Lower Queen Anne, when police say he came into the coffee shop, pulled out a box cutter, and said he was robbing them, then took their tip jar. Later that afternoon, he spent about 30 minutes sitting in the Fainting Goat Gelato restaurant in Wallingford before approaching the store clerk and telling her this is a robbery, saying, "I'm not like this, but I'm in a real bad situation." He only got away there with $90.
Will this guy stop? Probably not. He's got away with 4 of them that we're aware of. We feel that he'll probably continue. Probably has a serious drug habit, and he is dangerous because he's been armed in at least 2 of these cases.
Seattle police describe this suspect as white, in his 20s or 30s, between 5'6" and 5'7" tall, with blonde hair or reddish blonde hair, blue or green eyes, a thin build, and no vehicle that was seen. Now, if you know who this suspect is, Crime Stoppers at Puget Sound will pay you a cash reward of up to $1,000. You will remain anonymous. You can submit tips through the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free, or call 1-800-222-8477. Now the search for 2 prolific burglary and organized retail theft suspects wanted from Washington to Oregon. And here's one example of why. Take a good look at this surveillance video. Gig Harbor police say it shows 24-year-old Roman Kanonik running out the back door of a Target store after stealing thousands of dollars in cell phones. Detectives believe 23-year-old Kayla Kupczak was waiting for him in a shark gray 2009 Acura. And you could see the car pulling around slowly behind the store. Detectives say these 2 are wanted in more than 29 open investigations, including organized retail theft, burglary, and theft third degree in Gig Harbor, Lacey, Everett, Pasco, Kitsap County, Yelm, Covington, Chehalis, Shelton, King County, and Battleground. Those photos of them in custody are from when they were detained by loss prevention in Oregon at one point. Police estimate they've stolen more than $150,000 worth of goods over the past 4 months. Both have warrants for their arrest. Roman is wanted in Pierce County for burglary second degree and theft in the first degree, after police say he stole $21,000 worth of cell phones from that Gig Harbor target. Police say he went into the back room, took a crowbar, pried open a vault containing the iPhones, and then ran out that emergency exit. That theft happened on Friday, March 27th, 4 days after the governor issued an order for everyone to stay at home.
They're pretty high on our list right now. The amount of crime that they've committed is very significant, and there's a lot of jurisdictions out looking for them. So in addition to the thefts and the burglary charges, we're looking at referring them for charging in violation of the governor's order. In other words, if you come to Gig Harbor to commit crime, we're going to pile on every charge that we can. And one of those is the current topic, violating the governor's stay home, stay healthy order.
So they'll be adding a gross misdemeanor to all the felony counts they're already facing. Roman is 24 years old, 5'11", weighs 160 pounds. Kayla is 23, 5'4", 140 pounds. If you spot either of them, call 911 immediately. If you can tell detectives where they're staying or have any other information to help locate them, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Tacoma Pierce County at 1-800-222-TIPS or through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. There's a cash reward of up to $1,000 for any information that leads to their arrest. Barking dogs don't stop this porch pirate from snatching a package right in the middle of the day. A seriously bold move by this suspect, with everyone staying at home these days. This happened in the late morning of March 27th.
The person went right up to the door shortly after it had just been delivered by the delivery service. Probably the package was on the porch less than 10 minutes. Person grabbed it, headed straight back to their car. You know, with everybody being at home, we're actually seeing, for the most part, a decrease in crime because everybody's at home, a decrease in burglaries and package thefts.
Well, this woman sure is bucking that trend. Normandy Park police are hoping you can tell detectives her name. They say she's white, early 20s, with dark hair. They also maybe think you might be able to help track down that beater she was driving.
Late 90s sedan, possibly a Toyota Corolla, light blue in color. It's got kind of some distinct black rims on the tires, and the front bumper looks like it's falling off and is attached with maybe a piece of rope.
Well, the suspect's likely a prolific package thief, and she isn't going to stop until you can help Normandy police identify her. So if you know her name or anything about her or where to find that car, Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound will pay you a cash reward of up to $1,000 if you submit the tip through the P3 Tips app or call the hotline 1-800-222-TIPS. Tonight, a double murder mystery right on the border of Tukwila and SeaTac. 2 young men ambushed at a stoplight. Officers responded to a 911 call early Monday morning on March 23rd and found the victims in their car at the intersection of South 152nd and Pacific Highway South. Both had been shot. 19-year-old Michael Williams and 21-year-old Javon Johnson were taken to Harborview, but neither survived. Now, King County major crimes detectives and the victims' families are asking for your help to solve this case and stop the violence.
There's got to be some kind of reason. Somebody knows something.
Gloria King wants answers. She deserves answers. Why were the young man she raised since he was 6 days old and his cousin murdered in cold blood? Right here, not far from where he lived and where he stayed with you, in his own neighborhood to get gunned down.
In his own neighborhood. Michael had 4 shots in his body, and he bled out. Javon had 2 shots, and it killed the both of them. But when you killed them, you didn't just kill them, you killed their families.
No grandmother should ever have to bury her grandson, but that's what she did this week. Mikey, as she called him, would have been 20 years old next month.
How can you go to sleep every day knowing that you killed somebody?
The murders have been hardest on Diamond, Mikey's little sister.
I don't have nobody to teach me how this is, this life. I've been with them since day one.
Mikey was planning to have a barbecue for his birthday. Now Diamond is planning one in his memory.
No, I don't have the brother I woke up to every day hurts. but I'm living like he's alive. I'm living like if he was here. I'm living for him. I'm living for the both of them.
Mikey and Javon were the best of friends.
They got in trouble, sometimes together, sometimes separately, but it was nothing violent.
Gloria says both of them had really just started to mature. Mikey had been working labor ready. Javon got his GED and was recently approved for a student loan to attend Renton Technical College. He was also a new father.
I think that was what was helping Javon to straighten up, was the fact that he loved his little son and he spent a lot of time with him, and now that baby will have to grow up without even knowing his dad as much as his dad loved him.
Even though it's been more than 2 weeks, you can see the memorial here is well taken care of, and part of the reason is because Diamond has come here every day to make sure that the letters are here and that there's fresh flowers. Michael's friends from Tukwila put out some roses as well. For the family, knowing why is important. For detectives, knowing who is what matters. Was this a random shooting, or do you think they were chosen?
We actually don't know the answer to that.
Here's what they do know. Mikey and Javon were in Javon's car. The suspect pulled up alongside them as they sat at the stoplight and fired multiple rounds before racing away.
And go back on your cameras and look if you see anything, a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed late at night, or just a vehicle that doesn't seem to be in the right place. It's not one you've seen before. Those are the type of tips that we need.
King County Sheriff's major crimes detective, Michael Glasgow, is the lead investigator.
The problem is these guys are still out there. You know, whoever they are, they're out there, and you know, what's the next step? You know, they've already taken it to the level of killing 2 people in the middle of the street.
Detective Glasgow says they believe there could be witnesses to the shooting or others that have information on the suspect or suspects involved.
What we're really looking for right now is just, you know, help from the public. You know, people are talking about this incident, and we want to hear from them.
Detectives say right now they found no good reason for the murders, no understanding of why Mikey and Javon were shot and killed. They're working the evidence they have so far, but any lead at this point would help.
We have 2 dead people, and those young men need justice, their families need justice, and that's what we're here to do.
Just to sit there and shoot them like they're targets, and you don't have anything else to do but sit there and play with your gun. I can't understand it.
Gloria is praying for some kind of answer as to why this violence has come to her family, praying the suspect surrenders.
They're going to go the rest of their life looking over their shoulder and wondering who saw them, who knows why they did this and everything. The best thing to do is clean it up yourself.
So if you have any information on the suspects, videos or photos for King County Sheriff's detectives, you can submit those anonymously to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound through the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free. You can also go to p3tips.com or call 1-800-222-TIPS. You will never be asked to give your name. Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound will pay you a $2,000 cash reward if your tip leads to an arrest and charge in this case. That's a look at some of the cases featured this weekend in partnership with Crime Stoppers that police need your help to solve. I hope you'll join us for Washington's Most Wanted tonight at 11 on Q13 Fox. Tomorrow night at 9:30 on Joe TV and 10:30 on Q13 and 10:30 on Fox stations in Spokane, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities. Let's make sure these criminals have nowhere left to hide.